See, now from the server, you set up the HTTP and you wrote a text to a web page. Now, for instance, can I redesign this welcome to our page?
Okay,
move
yeah.
it to the center, like
Talking
beautiful.
about HTML commands.
Yes.
Scripting, HTML scripting to give it some colors and design.
Yeah. I mean, we can go back to our HTML page and copy some code from Google, paste there and everything. But
so you mean if we copy like the page that you just edit now from VI, if we copy pictures and put it there, probably installed web.
We'll do that in AWS. Don't worry about it. You'll do something very beautiful that will come out. Even you'll be surprised. But basically, your question actually, let me remind you of something. What we are developing and what we are interested in here is not just the website. Website is just the front end, the user interface part of our application. What we are genuinely interested in as DevOps engineers and IT people is the full stack application that is made up of the front end server, which you just created now. You think that is the end of the world. No, that's just then the back end server, which is where the real application runs. All your Java codes, your Python codes, the real work that you employ 300 developers to do would be in the back end server. And then, of course, you have your database. So all of these three must be working together, integrated, secured, highly available together for you to now say you have a suitable infrastructure for your application. So it is not as simple as just putting a beautiful front end web page and you feel that you have arrived. No. What determines the nature of the home of the web page is the application itself, which is at the back end. If, for example, the application at the back end requires that I collect date of birth, SSN, and address from the client in order to process something for them, that is when I now know that, okay, my front end should have a form that would pick those information, submit it to the back end for processing. Backend will process and save to the database before we can now fetch the request of the user. I don't know if all of this is making sense.
Yeah.
So look beyond just a website that is beautiful that have form. Look at the big picture of a whole full stack application like Uber, like what other application is common? Lyft. I mean, delivery applications, taxi applications, dating applications. Airbnb, yeah, this kind of application. So they are not just website. The website part of it is just to enable you enter your info. The real application is the back-end application, and that is the people you'll be supporting as a DevOps engineer. All right. So when you say, how do you create website? Is it going to be beautiful? Can we edit HTML? That is just like 0.5% of the whole work. 90% of the work is the place that connects to the front end using APIs. That is where the real work is. If it was just as simple as only one-faced application like a website. So it is the ability to connect with these people, take all of their codes, build them into an application, deploy them to your infrastructure in containerized form, not even a whole server, where one server, just a whole server, a single server can hold as many as 100 different applications, full-fledged applications, so like Airbnb.
Thank you, sir.
The road is still long.
Yeah, the road. In fact, we are just doing on your mark. That's what we are doing now. When we say get set, by the time we say go, we'll go to cloud and then we'll just show you, we'll just take you around cloud and show you stuff. This is EC2. This is a database. This is Route 53. If you want to put something so that it's globally available, this cloud front. We'll just show you around. By the time you now get to Docker, you are talking about containerization, where you can literally create your own cloud from your own laptop. And you are wondering, why do I even need to go to cloud? I can create all of these things by myself using the concept of Kubernetes. That is when you know that, yes, you're in IT.
Mr. Akin?
Yeah.
Your cloud class, the AWS cloud class, is it going to be will you be teaching it from a CLI perspective, from
No, it's mostly console, then a little bit of CLI using AWS. Right. Mostly console. Right. Then what you'll be doing from CLI completely almost without console is when you get to infrastructure as code.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry to also bring this up, since somebody have already brought the question related to AWS. So, Mr. Akin, for those of us that are still Mac user, is there anything that we need to be aware of prior to that class so we can prepare accordingly?
For AWS?
There is not. Yes, for AWS, yes.
No, once you have managed with Linux, you don't need any other thing on top of that. The same,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
The
Thank
same,
you, sir.
the same
Okay.
interface that works for you in Linux, we'll use it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Let me show you how to script. Let's switch user to EC2. All right. Can you see this? Nice.
Yes.
All right. Let's just do scripting so that talk less. So if I do which bash, this tells me that this is the directory where my bash script is supported. Bin bash, right? So in fact, what can I do now? Let's use the other server because we already have a web server here. Let us automate the process of deploying a web server on a new server, all right? So that you appreciate what script. So let me go. Okay. So you remember we have two servers here, right? We just use this one now. Let us use this one. So let's get the IP address of this one. Public IP address. Let's go and set up SSH connection to this new one. So share, all right? So while this one is still on, we'll create a new session, another session. This is one of the reasons I like, all right? EC2 user, and then advanced settings. What's our class was there? Class key. All right, awesome. Yeah.
So sorry, Sato. Can we still use the same KPI for both of them?
Yeah, you can use your KPI as often as many times as possible. In fact, I recommend it. All right. So this one is not a web server, This is a brand new server that just came up.
The second one.
The second one, yeah. So let us automate the process. Please, your echo. What we did on the other one, let's use scripting. So let us use scripting. Who is Abola? I've been letting you in so many times, and what's going on with you? Abola, or was that wrongly spelled? Okay. So yes, wanted to do scripting, right? So the way to do this is to so let's call the name. Let's create a file. Let's call the file itan script, or not itan. Let's call it a web server. All right. So your script must end as .sh.shell. So that is number one rule. Your script file must end as .sh. So in this case, the name of our script is web server script. I just gave it a name to help you remember that the job of this script is to create a web server, right? So let us VI into it, and then what are we working on? We don't need to use those things we are working with, right? So VI. Now we are going to automate the commands that we should have entered manually. We are going to enter everything now to create a web page. What are the commands? We go into to create a web server. We go into the system and we do sudo su to become root, and then we do yum update. Remember? Are you still here? Yeah, if you don't have echo in your background, mute.
Yes, we're here.
We're here.